Welcome, ZASLOW Show 2.0. It is a Tuesday, the 7th of February. Good to have you aboard. We are a Blue Wire podcast. Appreciate you wherever and however you're listening to the program, be it on iTunes, Spotify, Google, Amazon, iHeart. I'm going to be here forever if I list them all. I can't do that. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you like, you rate, you comment, you do all that good stuff. And you can also, of course, check us out on the YouTube page. If you want to do that, you can put them right there on your television. YouTube.com/@ZASLOW Show. We got a lot happening here. We're just a couple days away from the NBA trade deadline. We're obviously going to be keeping an eye on that. We're going to be joined. We're going to do like a major NBA trade deadline, but Heat-oriented trade deadline preview today. This is big time, okay? My pal, obviously super Heat fan, Evan Cohen, SiriusXM, Mad Dog Radio, Morning Men every morning, 6 to 9 a.m. It's my favorite show, you guys know that, but of course he also hosts on SiriusXM NBA Radio, and he's doing a trade deadline show on Thursday on SiriusXM NBA Radio. He's going to join us here coming up in just a few minutes, and we're going to do an extensive NBA trade deadline, but Miami Heat-oriented show here today. You're going to love it. Now, we do have a very controversial poll question today, all right? ZASLOW Show 2.0 poll question. Here's what we got. Go to @ZASLOW Show. You can always hit me up on Twitter. Love talking to you guys, but make sure you go vote. You can always hit me up on Instagram as well, @ZASLOWJ. That's where I'm an influencer, but I love interacting with all you guys. Go to Twitter, @ZASLOW Show, and today's poll question, ZASLOW Show 2.0 poll. Have you ever wanted a player traded at the deadline more than Kyle Lowry? Now, I'm not talking about have you ever wanted a player traded more. No, I'm talking about in season leading up to the deadline. That's the key here, all right? Have you ever wanted a player traded at the deadline more than Kyle Lowry? And your choices are yes or no. Those are the choices. It's not hard. And right now, running away with it, the leader at 70% of the vote is no. You have never wanted a player in Miami Heat history traded more than Kyle Lowry. Now, got to remind everybody, our title sponsor, Everything ZASLOW Show 2.0, is presented by Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. 800-747-FREE. That's 800-747-3733. None of this would be possible without my friends at Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Mark Anidjar, Glenn Levine, Ellie Anidjar. Those guys got behind ZASLOW Show 2.0 day one. Actually, before day one. Before we got our first show, they were on board, all right? So none of this is possible. But most importantly, if you've been in an accident, if you're dealing with an injury, you got to make sure you get the money that you deserve. You focus on your health, and you let Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys get you the money to get you going again. 800-747-FREE. That's 800-747-3733. Nobody gets it done better than Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. If you're in an accident, you call 911 first, and then you get an attorney on the phone right away. 800-747-FREE. That's 800-747-3733. Also want to tell you guys real quick. So you guys know I've been telling you about Doctors on Call 365, right? Dr. Alon came to my house last night. This is how Doctors on Call 365 works. Doctors on Call 365, South Florida's urgent care that comes to you. Now, I've been telling you about Doctors on Call 365. The convenience, getting a doctor to come to your home. So here's the thing. I've used Dr. Alon at Doctors on Call 365 a couple of times already. It's wonderful. Comes to your home, will treat kids, adults, the elderly. If you need IV fluids, you need blood drawn, you need vitamin therapy, you need a prescription filled or refilled, COVID test, flu test, strep test. So anyway, yesterday, my son dealing with a serious earache. Maybe it's an ear infection. We don't know. It's nighttime. He's almost in tears. We got to see someone right away. This is where Doctors on Call 365 is a godsend. So we call 786-577-9302. You can also go online, doctorsoncall365.com. But you're going to get someone on the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I made the call last night. It was like 8 p.m. 786-577-9302. An hour later, Dr. Alon, Doctors on Call 365, they were at my home. He He went right upstairs to my son's bedroom. That's right, in comfort of your own home or wherever you are, your office, whatever you're doing. Doctors on Call 365 will come to you. Now, you're paying out of pocket, but if you go to the emergency room, you're waiting for hours and your copay is going to be more than Doctors on Call 365 is going to charge you. So again, came over last night, treated my son, checked out his ears. Yeah, he's got an ear thing going on. So we got some medication, we got some amoxicillin going on. A godsend. Doctors on Call 365.com, 786-577-9302. So before we get to Evan Cohen, I wanted to make sure, and we got a lot to get to with him. NBA trade deadline, Miami Heat-oriented preview show, but make sure you go and you vote in today's poll question. ZASLOW Show 2.0 poll, have you ever wanted a player traded at the deadline more than Kyle Lowry? And for me, never. Never. I know a lot of people like to throw Whiteside out there. I told you, Whiteside will roll out of bed and get you a double-double. And I don't know if we wanted Whiteside, we wanted Whiteside traded in the offseason, and he eventually was up for Jimmy, essentially. But we're talking in-season trade deadline. Some people have sent me Duncan Robinson. All right, you want Duncan traded more? I don't know what to tell you. Look, it's your preference, all right? It's your opinion. That's all right. But for me, and for 70% of you so far, I have never wanted a player traded more than Kyle Lowry. Now, you're starting to get reports out there that the Heat are now listening to calls for Kyle Lowry. Of course they're listening to calls for Kyle Lowry. The question is anyone calling about Kyle Lowry? And I don't believe anyone's calling about him. But that's the question. You had reports like last week, the Heat, they're not interested in moving Kyle Lowry. What? Of course they would move Kyle Lowry. Nobody's calling about him. And I still have a hard time believing that anybody's calling about him. So we'll circle back to that, all right? We're going to do a lot of that with Evan. The Florida Panthers last night, that's what I'm talking about. The Panthers took that ass last night over the Tampa Bay Lightning, 7-1. Vasilevsky, get the hell out of my city. I hate your guts. The Tampa Bay Lightning, get the hell out of my city. I hate your guts. The Panthers win 7-1. They took that ass last night. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you start this, I guess, second half of the season. It's more than the second half of the season. But in order for the Panthers to make the playoffs, now we're talking 27 games remaining, I think. You got to beat the bad teams, and you got to beat a bunch of the good teams. And they did that last night. Bobrovsky back in net finally. He was excellent. Kachuk with a pair of goals. Verhaeghe with a pair of goals. Kachuk is awesome. And that was a hard-hitting game. The Panthers played so well. And that was now 7-1. I mean, come on, that's obviously an anomaly. But that was the type of performance we would get every now and then last year. So, need a lot more of that. A lot more of what we saw last night here in the final part of the season. And here's where the Panthers stand. I mean, man, that was fun as hell last night. That'll get you going. And now you got a homestand. Thursday at San Jose, they suck. And then Saturday you got Colorado. So we'll see where we go from here. But going into tonight's games, and like I said, Panthers are back in action on Thursday. The Panthers right now, they're 1 point back. They have 56. They're 1 point back of the second wildcard spot, which is currently held by Pittsburgh. But that's kind of a fugazi number because here's the thing. The Penguins have 4 games in hand. That's 8 potential points. So it's a little bit of a fugazi number. But then you look at the team that's in the first wildcard spot, and excuse me, wow, and that's the Capitals. Well, the Panthers are 4 points back of the Capitals, and they played the same amount of games. So it's weird. You're 1 point back of Pittsburgh, but you're 4 points back of Washington, and you're really closer to Washington, it feels like. Anyway, they're within striking distance of both those wild card spots. I think that's the overall point that needs to be made. But a terrific start to the post-All-Star portion of the season for the Panthers last night. So there you have it. Also, I want to get to this NBA-wise before we bring Evan on board here. So LeBron yesterday, Kyrie Irving was traded a few days ago. Trade became official yesterday. Kyrie Irving and Markieff Morris to Dallas. And I know Cam Thomas had a great game last night. Cam Thomas, he he still loves Kyrie. He's my mentor. Can you imagine that lunatic as your mentor? It's crazy that there are Nets players that still support Kyrie. He quit on them. Like, isn't that the worst thing? That's why Dwayne Dedmon has essentially been banished. Now, I know Dedmon played out of necessity on Saturday night against Milwaukee, but that's why Dwayne Dedmon's been banished. He quit. Kyrie Irving quit on the team. He literally totally quit. And like, some guys still support him. It's wild to me. And it's crazy for the Mavericks. The Mavericks see a player who's quit everywhere he's been. And they're saying, yeah, we're going to make it work. Balls, man. And I hope it blows up on them. And I hope Luka wants out. And I hope the Heat get Luka. You know? But anyway. So the fallout with Kyrie Irving going to Dallas, Michael Wilbon, Benny the Bull. That's, you know, he wears the mask. He wears the mascot at the Bulls game, Michael Wilbon. And Michael Wilbon sat down with LeBron James. And they talked a little bit about, you know, obviously the main story is LeBron. And is he going to break the record coming up tonight? The question is he breaking the record tonight, the all-time scoring record tonight against Oklahoma City, or is he going to break it on Thursday against Milwaukee? Now, both games are on TNT. They're the late games on TNT. So tonight you get the B crew, which is very good, by the way. Adam Lefko, Candace Parker, Jamal Crawford, Shaquille O'Neal, and then Thursday night. Between you and me, he's breaking it Thursday. He wants it to be against the Bucks. He wants it to be against Kareem's whole team. He got beef with Kareem. He wants to stick it to Kareem. So it'll probably be Thursday, but is it going to be tonight? Is it going to be Thursday? He needs 36 points. So Michael Wilbon's sitting down with LeBron and obviously asked him about the Lakers not acquiring Kyrie Irving.
Well, definitely disappointed. I can't sit here and say I'm not disappointed on not being able to land such a talent, but someone that I had great chemistry with and know I got great chemistry with on the floor that can help you win, championships. In my mind. In my eyes.
I don't get it, man. Like, LeBron's kind of a shit teammate sometimes. How does Russell Westbrook take that? Because going on TV like that and saying how disappointed you are that the team didn't acquire Kyrie Irving, everybody understands the way trades work now. You can't just trade any player for any player. The salaries have to match up. And the only way that the Lakers were able to make a potential Kyrie Irving trade work is either trade LeBron, trade Anthony Davis, or trade Russell Westbrook in a deal for Kyrie Irving. So we all know a Kyrie Irving deal to the Lakers had to include Russell Westbrook. So LeBron telling you how disappointed he is that the team didn't acquire Kyrie Irving, isn't it the same thing as him going on television and saying how disappointed he is that the team didn't get rid of Russell Westbrook? He's kind of a shit teammate sometimes. I don't get, like, what does Russell Westbrook think when he sees this? Like, man, he's pissed off that they didn't trade me. Obviously doesn't think we could win. Now, they can't win, but obviously doesn't think we could win with me on the roster. He's kind of a shit teammate. So, LeBron, it's either tonight or it's Thursday that he's going to break the record. So, it's pretty cool. I mean, growing up, I never thought anyone would come close to the record. Karl Malone came close to it. And then after the 04 season, he just up and retired, just up and dipped. It's like, I'm not doing this anymore. Malone could have passed him. Malone could have gotten that record. And it's going to happen either tonight or Thursday. I definitely think it's going to happen on Thursday. I think we're looking at Thursday. All right. So, anyway, go to @ZASLOW Show on Twitter. Vote in today's very controversial poll question. We got LeBron potentially breaking the record tonight. We are on trade watch, not only for the Heat to get rid of Kyle Lowry, but can they acquire a difference maker within the next 48 hours?